Today's lesson is 2.2, multiplying polynomials. So we might be asked the question, what is the product of negative 4x cubed and x squared plus 3x minus 4? Of course, product means we're going to multiply. So we're going to multiply the negative 4x cubed times the polynomial. And so that's pretty straightforward. We're just going to use the distributive property. Negative 4x cubed times x squared is negative 4x to the fifth. Remember, we add the exponents when we're multiplying. And the negative 4x cubed times 3x is negative 12x to the fourth, because 3 plus 1 is 4. And negative 4x cubed times negative 4 is 16x cubed. And so there's our answer. All right, so now I want you to try a couple. So here's the first one. Find the product. In other words, multiply. Negative 2x squared times x squared plus 3x plus 4. Pause the presentation, find the answer, and then resume. The solution is negative 2x to the fourth minus 6x cubed minus 8x squared. Okay, try this one. Negative 4x times 2x squared minus 3x plus 5. Pause, calculate, and resume. So the solution is negative 8x cubed plus 12x squared minus 20x. Now, the next thing we want to do is multiply binomials. So we have two binomials like x plus 5 and x plus 8, and we want to multiply those. So essentially, we just use the distributive property twice. So we take the first term in the first binomial, the x, and we distribute. So we have x times x, which is x squared, and then x times 8, which is 8x. Then we take the second term, the 5. 5 times x is 5x, and 5 times 8 is 40. And now we have some like terms, so we want to combine the like terms to get our final answer, x squared plus 13 plus 40. Now, the conventional way to multiply binomials is by a technique called FOIL. So if you can remember FOIL, then you just multiply first, outside, inside, last. So looking at this example again, x plus 5 times x plus 8. The first terms are x and x, so x times x is x squared. The outside terms are x times 8, so 8x, and then the inside, 5 times x is 5x. And then the last is 5 times 8, which is 40. And so inside and outside are like terms, so we add those together. The 8 plus the x is 13x. So FOIL, first, outside, inside, last. And we can really combine inside and outside once we get good at this so that we can do that without writing a whole lot of extra work. Now, your book happens to mention a technique called rectangles. And basically what that is when we have that binomial x plus 5 times x plus 8, we make a table. Okay, the table is basically a big rectangle. And so that first term, x plus 5, each of those terms goes into a cell in the table, and then x plus 8, each of those goes into a cell in the table. And then you're finding the area of each part. So you have the x squared, the 8x, the 5x, and the 40. And then you are combining the like terms. And so the like terms would be the 8x and the 5x. So we're going to combine those to get the 13x. So making this table is a lot more work than just going first, outside, inside, last. So don't do all this extra work. Keep things simple. But I wanted to show you that so you know what the book is talking about when it says use rectangles. All right, so using FOIL, find the product of 2x plus 1 and x plus 3. Pause, calculate, and then resume. The product is 2x squared plus 7x plus 3. Okay, first was 2x times x is 2x squared. Inside and outside, 6 plus 1 is 7x. And then the last 1 times 3 is 3. All right, try this one. 3x minus 5 times 2x plus 4. Calculate, or pause, calculate, and then resume. All right, the product is 6x squared plus 2x minus 20. Inside, negative 10, outside, 12. 12 minus 10 is 2x, the middle term. All right, last one. Try this one. 2x plus 4 times 5x plus 2. Pause, calculate, and then resume. All right, the solution is 10x squared plus 24x plus 8. All right, now I'm going to step up one more. We want to multiply a binomial times a trinomial. Okay, well, this is pretty basic. We're just going to distribute the first term of the binomial and then distribute the second term of the binomial. So we're going to take the 3x and multiply it times x squared. That's 3x to the third. And then 3x times 2x is 6x squared. And then 3x times negative 1 is negative 3x. Now we're going to multiply the second term, the 4. We're going to distribute that. And what we're going to do is put it underneath and line up the like terms. So 4 times x squared is 4x squared. 4 times 2x is 8x. So we've lined up the x squared terms, we've lined up the x terms. And then 4 times negative 1 is negative 4. So now, since our like terms are aligned, we can just add down and get our solution. 3x to the third plus 10x squared plus 5x minus 4. Okay, so we just distribute the first term and then distribute the second term. Line up your like terms and combine like terms. Now again, your book might talk about using a rectangle. So basically that's a table, taking the binomial, putting the terms in the column, taking the trinomial, putting the terms in the row, and then finding the area of each box by multiplying, like 4 times x squared is 4x squared. And then writing out all those terms and then combining the like terms and coming to a final solution. So if you really need to do things visually, you could do that, but it's a lot more work. So if we can just distribute the first term, distribute the second term, and combine, we can find things efficiently. All right, so here's one for you to try. 2x minus 5 times negative 3x squared plus 4x minus 7. Pause, calculate, and then resume. The solution is negative 6x cubed plus 23x squared minus 34x plus 35. Do you have this? If not, then go back and look at that first example. Distribute the first term, write them down. Distribute the second term, write them down, lining up the like terms, and then combine like terms. All right, another example. Negative 3x squared plus 1 times 2x squared plus 3x minus 4. Calculate, or pause, calculate, and then resume. The solution is negative 6x to the fourth minus 9x cubed plus 14x squared minus 3x minus 4. All right, so all this is pretty straightforward. So now let's apply this to a kind of problem. So a smartphone has a screen that has a width of x and a height that is 1.8 times the width. The outer dimensions of the phone are shown. Write an expression for the portion of the phone that is not occupied by the screen and assume the phone is rectangular. So we're going to kind of ignore that it has rounded edges and just treat it as a rectangle. All right, so it said the screen has a width of X. So the screen is this area, right, in here. So the width of that is X. And then the height is 1.8 times the width. So the height going along here is 1.8 times the X. Okay, and then it gives us the dimensions of the whole phone, and it says find the part that's not occupied by the screen. So we want those two areas of the phone that are not occupied by the screen. So it makes sense then that we're going to take the entire area of the phone and then subtract out the area of the screen. Okay, so first we want to find the area of the screen and the area of the phone. We said the screen has dimensions of x and 1.8 times x. So we're going to multiply those together and we get 1.8x squared. The area of the phone is the two dimensions that we're given. So we're just going to multiply those together. X plus 1 times 1.8x plus 3. And so FOIL, first, outside, inside, last. Okay, inside and outside, 3x and 1.8x. So those combine like terms to 4.8x. The x times 1.8x is 1.8x squared, and the 1 times 3 is 3. So now we have the area of the whole phone, we have the area of the screen, so we're going to subtract the screen from the whole phone. So the area of the phone minus the area of the screen gives us a subtraction of polynomials. And so that's pretty easy. The 1.8x squared minus 1.8x squared are going to cancel each other out. And we're just left with the 4.8x plus 3. So there's our expression that represents the area of the phone not covered by the screen. All right, so there we go, multiplying polynomials. Now you're ready to do lesson 2.2.